Hello, a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a news cycle here on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agmofwegbe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The World Health Organization, WHO, has estimated that lead exposure cost Africa about $135 billion in lost productivity each year, as Nigeria reaffirmed its commitment to ending the scourge through a new national lead elimination policy and strategic plan. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, stated this during a press briefing by the ministry. Zirao Nasiru now reports.
National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week brings together individuals, organizations, industry, and state, tribal, territorial, and local governments to reduce childhood exposure to lead by increasing lead poisoning prevention awareness and education. Speaking at the National Lead Poisoning Elimination Day in Abuja, themed No Safe Level Acts Now to End Lead Exposure, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Fati, represented by the Permanent Secretary Daju Kacholum, described lead poisoning as a serious public health emergency that undermines human capital development. Fati noted that globally, 1 in every 3 children, approximately 850 million, has detectable blood lead levels, adding that the World Health Organization estimates that lead exposure causes about 47,000 deaths annually in Africa, costing the continent an estimated $135 billion in lost productivity each year.
Forward, our focus will be to formally launch the National Lead Elimination Policy and Strategic Plan with clear targets and funding frameworks, expand diagnostic and laboratory networks of blood lead testing nationwide, strengthen surveillance systems targeting vulnerable groups, especially children and pregnant women.
On the government response, Fati said the ministry, in collaboration with sister agencies and partners, had developed a national lead elimination policy and a 5-year strategic plan to coordinate prevention, detection, and response across multiple sectors, including health, environment, mines and steel development, agriculture, and water resources.
As we mark this important day, I reaffirm as the minister that the federal government remains fully committed to ending lead poisoning in Nigeria. This commitment aligns with our national health priorities and global efforts under the International Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, coordinated by the World Health Organization and the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP.
He further revealed that in September 2025, he inaugurated the National Interagency Working Group on Lead Poisoning Elimination, tasked with strengthening surveillance, reviewing regulations, and mobilizing sustainable financing to end lead exposure in Nigeria. Zahra Nasr, reporting for Global TV News.
There was a rowdy and highly charged atmosphere in the House of Representatives today as lawmakers clashed over a motion of urgent public importance seeking an investigation into the alleged illegal allocation of federal government land at Lagos International Trade Fair Complex. Our National Assembly correspondent Anieti Patrick has details.
What began as a routine plenary soon turned chaotic. Tension rose when lawmaker Ademoyi Kuyi sought to present a motion of urgent public importance on alleged illegal land allocations at the Lagos International Trade Fair Complex. The motion immediately drew opposition from some members who argued that it failed to meet the criteria for urgency, which typically involve loss of lives or destruction of property. The chamber descended into a rowdy scene, forcing Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who presided over plenary, to repeatedly call the House to order. Despite a heated exchange, the motion eventually passed, winning majority support. But the uproar resumed moments later as lawmakers raised fresh objections while the motion moved to its next stage. The speaker once again had to intervene to restore calm.
Mr. Speaker. Those who support the second leg of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The floor is yours.
In the adopted motion, the House expressed concern over alleged criminal allocations and distortions of the original 350-hectare master plan of the trade fair complex. The sponsor of the motion claimed that portions of the federal land were being fragmented, sold, or leased illegally, threatening both businesses' stability and national revenue. He warned that mismanagement at the complex had reached a level capable of triggering ethnic and commercial tension among traders. The House therefore mandated the Committee on Public Assets to investigate the matter, focusing on the management of the complex, alleged land racketeering, and the role of the Lagos International Trade Fair Complex Limited.
Sit down.
But just when the chamber appeared to settle, another wave of commotion broke out after a member moved for an executive session, sparking renewed confrontation among lawmakers. The session later went behind closed doors, but the controversies over the Lagos Trade Fair land is far from over. The outcome of the investigation could determine the fate of one of Nigeria's largest commercial hubs. From the National Assembly, Annie T. Patrick reporting for Global Television News.
Legislating is serious business indeed. Thank you, Anita Patrick. Kano State Government has approved the sum of 19.9 billion naira for the execution of various development projects across the state. Briefing newsmen on the outcome of the 33rd Executive Council meeting, State Commissioner of Information Ibrahim Weya said the approval follows a deliberation on critical issues affecting the state. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin was there and now reports.
Chaired by the Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, the 33rd Executive Council meeting of the Kano State Government focuses on critical issues of governance affecting the state. After a series of presentations by commissioners of various ministries, the sum of 4.9 billion naira for the Ministry of Education was approved.
The breakdown includes 380,957,001 naira for settlement of outstanding liabilities due to the Board for Arabic and Islamic Studies enviers. 260,015,629,000 naira, 64 kobo for the purchase of 2 shops adjoining the Engineer Arabi Musa Concourse of Women's Skills Center.
To improve healthcare delivery across the state, the council equally approved the sum of 274.7 million naira for the renovation of various healthcare facilities across the state, while the sum of 3.3 billion naira has been approved for the project under the Ministry of Water Resources.
670,455,779 naira 12 kobo for payment of KEDCO electricity bills for the State Water Board covering 3 months. 1,772,800,000 for settlement update on diesel, AGO, and petrol fuels supplied for water treatment plants and the Water Board headquarters.
To enhance energy sustainability in Kano, the council approved the sum of over 900 million naira for the supply and installation of solar-powered street lights across the state.
139,528,317 naira 83 kobo for supply and installation of alternative solar power system at the Council Affairs Directorate. 840,361,675 naira 73 kobo for supply and installation of 150 kV solar powered backup system at Africa House, Government House.
Meanwhile, the commissioners say Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has since directed all ministries affected to immediately commence work and ensure prudent management of government resources. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Away from Kano State now, a new dawn for the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, the POA, as the seamless transition of leadership takes place for the 16th DEPOA president. The outgoing president, Mrs. Ogo Gaboin Musa, called for stronger bond within the association as she passes the baton to her successor, Manem Femi Oluyede. in Abuja. Samuel Odi was there for Global Television.
The handing and taking over ceremony marks the end of an era and the beginning of another, as the outgoing DPOA president formally transfers the mantle of leadership to her successor, promising continued empowerment for military and police families across the nation. The atmosphere was filled with grace, gratitude, and optimism as members of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association gathered for the official handover ceremony at the association's national secretariat. The outgoing president says leadership is about continuity, and she is handing over with a heart full of gratitude and confidence. She urged the incoming president and her team to remain steadfast in promoting unity, discipline, and compassion among members.
Together, we champion women empowerment and skill building programs, creating opportunities for personal growth, dignity, and self-reliance. We also invested in the welfare of our barracks community through health and family support initiatives.
While giving her acceptance speech, Mrs. Femi Oluyede appreciates the outgoing president for her visionary leadership and ensuring contribution to the poor and the nation at large.
Today marks not just a ceremony of transition, but the continuation of a profound mission to support, uplift, and empower the families who stand behind the men and women safeguarding our nation. As our officers, soldiers, airmen, sailors, and police personnel dedicate their lives to securing our nation, we must stand as the shield behind the shield.
Oluyede added that together, the sustained values of service, sacrifice, and sisterhood that defines the poor shall continue to reign louder as all members join hands with her in the new journey. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Well, thank you so very much, Samuel. The Federal Ministry of Environment, through the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, has hosted a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital, to discuss strategic steps towards environmental protection in Ogoniland. Here is Obong Usoro's report.
Following the approval of recommendations by Professor Dam, Barry Dam's Technical Committee for the Center of Excellence and Environmental Restoration, CEER, the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas, reaffirms government's commitment to ensuring a cleaner and safer Ogoniland. Speaking at the meeting, Professor Nani Barini Zabi said the gathering marks a critical milestone in government's efforts to implement the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP recommendations in the region. He emphasized that the provision of potable water, shoreline cleanup, and mangrove restoration remains key priorities.
In line with the directives contained in the Hybrid Establishment Gazette, the establishment of the Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration is a key recommendation of the United Nations Environment Programme report on Ogoniland.
But after everything would have finished about oil exploration or maybe our cleanup, this is what we are going to see. Now, since it's a key recommendation.
Delivering the keynote address, international researcher Professor Craig Sample noted that innovation, operational methods can further enhance sustainability and accelerate the pace of cleanup projects in Ogoniland.
And that collaboration is not just about bringing researchers from the university sector together or from research institutes. It's also about bringing in.
Stakeholders at the meeting agreed that collaboration, transparency, and effective monitoring remains essential to achieving lasting restoration and rebuilding the trust of the Ogoni people. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle here on Global Television. Well, the rest of the broadcast returns shortly. Ghana, Nigeria Customs to strengthen customs operations. We'll have those details for you, as well as more stories from the world of sports and the foreign scene. Please stay with us. Well, Well, thank you so very much for staying with us. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. President Bola Tinubu has written the Senate seeking a fresh 1.15 trillion naira borrowing from the domestic debt markets to help finance the deficits in the 2025 budget. The president's request was convened in a letter read by President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The letter stated that the proposed borrowing is intended to bridge the funding gap and ensure full implementation of government programs and projects under the 2025 fiscal plan, noting that the request for the approval of the National Assembly border program to fund the 2025 budget's gap. The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, says customs across Africa must play a greater role in driving continental integration and boosting intra-African trade. Speaking at a strategic meeting with the Secretary General, African Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mene, on efforts to enhance trade relations within the continent, Adeniyi emphasized that customs administrations have a vital role in promoting economic prosperity and development across the continent. Our business correspondent, Kikalamo Okere, has more.
Recent data from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that as of 2024, Africa has become Nigeria's largest export destination, a clear sign of growing regional trade. At a joint meeting with the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, and the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Adeniyi emphasized that the success of the trade agreement depends on collaboration among key stakeholders to boost intra-African trade and drive economic growth. Adeniyi therefore called for stronger institutional framework to ensure the custom operations are better integrated into existing continental structures.
The existing structure which the Secretariat has created, bringing together all heads of customs administration, also needed to be strengthened so that once we institutionalize customs part, we will be able to situate it and let it operate within the existing structure which the Secretariat has created.
The Nigerian Customs Service reaffirmed its commitment to supporting the AfCFTA agenda by promoting compliance among small businesses and export-oriented enterprises. The African Continental Free Trade Area Secretary General, Wamkele Mene, says partnership with the Customs Administration and the private sector is critical to realizing Africa's economic integration goals. He noted that the Nigerian customs authorities are central to implementation of AfCFTA, particularly in area of data collection and statistics gathering, which are vital for measuring the true impact of the agreement.
Our private meeting, customs authorities are at the heart of implementation of the AfCFTA, so it is expected that we collaborate for implementation. And finally,
the Secretary General also stressed the importance of structured engagement with private sector, saying it will help address trade challenges such as infrastructure deficit, high logistic costs, and currency conversion barriers. With sustained collaboration between Nigerian customs, the AfCFTA Secretariat, and the private sectors, stakeholders believe Africa is on the course to achieving deeper integration and shared prosperity through trade. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Many thanks, Kike Lomo Okere. Still talking business, the Philippines is deepening its economic footprint in Nigeria as its ambassador reaffirms commitment to building stronger business ties with key stakeholders across the country. Samuel Odi reports for Global Television.
In an exclusive interview with Global Television, The ambassador of the Republic of Philippines to Nigeria, Mel So Melyor, emphasized the shared vision of both nations to expand trade, investment, and industrial cooperation. The envoy noted that the Philippines is keen on partnering with Nigerian entrepreneurs in sectors such as fashion, hospitality, agriculture, manufacturing, ICT, education, and renewable energy, describing Nigeria as a strategic economic partner and investment hub in West Africa.
Fit into the objective of the Philippines, of the Philippine Embassy in Nigeria, to promote collaboration and strengthening of relationship between stakeholders of the fashion industry in Nigeria and the Philippines. So as we move forward, we would like to make this as a platform where we can link them up with their counterparts in the Philippines, and for both sides to work together to take advantage of the potential that both countries offer in the fashion and design industry. The Philippines and Nigeria, these are very big countries in terms of population, and coming with it the opportunities and potential. Nigeria has a very rich tradition in the fashion industry and also in the textile sector, and if the strengths of both countries can be harnessed together, then we can expect that the two will be really great players in promoting not just current but also new ideas when it comes to the fashion industry. We have very rich experience in terms of this sector, and perhaps a new relationship between the players of both countries in this sector will be very fruitful in terms of the future. So I'm very hopeful, I'm very positive that this initial step that we're taking will bring us to even bigger prospects towards the future. So
Ambassador Melso reaffirmed his mission to bridge business communities from both countries, pledging to create more platforms that connect Filipino investors with Nigerian industries. It is the hope that the renewed optimism will create deep bilateral relations anchored on economic diplomacy, innovation, and people-to-people exchange. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to strengthening regional cooperation, as well as promoting intra-African trade following his recent election as chairman of the World Customs Organization. Speaking during a visit to the Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Brigadier General Glover Ashong Anan, the Controller General expressed deep appreciation to the customs leadership for their goodwill and support, noting that their encouragement was instrumental from the early stages of his candidacy. Again, Kikalamo Kerry has more.
The collaboration between Ghana and Nigerian Customs Service has received a major boost as both countries reaffirmed their commitment to deepen regional trade and security cooperation. During a visit to Ghana, the Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, emphasized the need to harmonize custom procedures in support of the African Continental Free Trade Area, while promoting capacity-building initiatives that enhance professionalism among customs officers. He says the visit reflects the strong and enduring bond between Ghana and Nigeria, two nations united by history, culture, and a shared vision for prosperous West Africa.
Most of my visits is to give meaning to the expression charity begins at home, and seek your support for the mission itself. The mission is for us to see how better customs can play its role as the major promoter of the African Continental Free Trade. We want to increase the volume of trades that we do within Africa. We want
The Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Brigadier General Glover Ashong Anan, described the visit of the Nigerian Comptroller General of Customs as a proud moment for Africa, recognizing the exceptional leadership and achievements of the Nigerian Customs Service. He expressed readiness to work closely with Nigeria in strengthening intelligence sharing and joint operation against transnational crimes.
Together, we know that we must strengthen intelligence sharing and then also enhance joint operations against transnational crimes. We must also harmonize customs procedures to support the African Continental Free Trade Area and then deepen capacity building initiatives that empower our officers to serve with integrity and excellence.
The meeting further reinforced bilateral cooperation between the two custom administrations, paving the way for stronger economic relations and regional growth. As the delegation continues its engagement, both sides express optimism that the renewed partnership will drive trade facilitation and strengthen the fight against economic and border crimes across West Africa. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Now time to bring you a bit of sports. Nigeria's star striker Victor Osimhen says he is ready to take Galatasaray to new heights in the UEFA Champions League, insisting it is time to make a statement in the most prestigious games. After starring for Lille and Napoli, the 26-year-old forward returns to Europe's elite competition wearing Galatasaray's yellow and red, where he has quickly become a fan favorite. He made his move permanent this summer following a standout season, a long loan in 2024-2025. And that's News Cycle here for you. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, we're delighted to remind you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We encourage you to interact and engage with us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, saying again a big thank you to you for watching. Our broadcast here on Global Television continues.